Namaste everyone. Hello yogis. This is Stephen from YogaWorks, recording from South Africa. Today our class is all about changing our perspective. You know, when things are hard around you, we tend to want to get involved and change this and force that and manage that and boost that. And for a while that could work. But at some point we run out of options. We see that there's only so much we can do, and that situation doesn't always change when we want it to. So in yoga we say the most important thing to work on is not all these external things. It's this one right here. You, your body and your mind, this is the only thing you really have full control over, or at least that's what we're working towards in our yoga practice. And I just want to give a little example. Imagine you're in a traffic jam. I know now in the pandemic there's not many traffic jams, but I'm sure you remember. So you're in the traffic jam, you have a meeting to be or a flight to catch or whatever it is, and there's a million cars around you, there's no movement. Can you remember what that feels like? So you have a sense of powerlessness. All these people, you know, why are they not just getting out of the way so that I can get to my destination? That's sometimes how the mind is thinking. But then imagine you get to the airport, you take off in a flight, and then you circle back over your city, and then you look down, and there's that same traffic jam that you were just in before, cursing and stressing. How amazing does that traffic jam look from up above? You're like, oh, that's sweet, these cars are like little toys down there, and all that happened is the traffic jam is the same, you are the same, but you have changed your mind, you've changed your perspective, you're looking at it from another viewpoint, and suddenly the problem is gone. What you thought was really a big problem before has now vanished. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to be turning our world upside down, looking at things from another perspective. In other words, we're going to be doing some inversions, which is when we basically turn our body upside down. It sounds a bit scary, maybe 20 people have already left this live class, but basically your head will be below the level of your heart. It doesn't mean it's full of handstands and headstands, and if you can't do any of these things, you'll be completely lost. This class is for you, even if you're a little bit scared and skeptical of these inversions, because we'll be starting with very, very basic preparations, slowly building up. At the very end, we'll try an inversion, but that's totally optional if you want to do it or not. You're getting still the same benefits whether you do that final pose, which is headstand, or not. So here we go. Let's warm up the shoulders a little bit. Interlace your fingers. And then press the palms away from you, straighten your elbows. And keep squeezing the elbows into each other, and then slowly lift the arms up over the head. So often when we go upside down, our arms will be in an overhead position. Think of headstand, forearm balance, handstand. So that requires quite a bit of openness in the shoulders, a lot of strength and stability as well. And then here we want to not compensate too much with the spine. See what I'm doing? I'm arching my back. This is not what we want. It's not going to give us stability. So I want to keep the front ribs in as I'm pressing the sky up with my hands, so to speak. You can even look towards your hands just to gaze at the point that you're pushing up at. And then just release the fingers. With your right hand, hold the left wrist, take it over the head into a little side bend. So now we're getting into the whole side body here, your lats, maybe the waist a little bit. You don't have to go super far, just go until you feel a good place to be for you. And then let's swap sides, hold the right wrist, take it over to the left side. Mild side bend, start off a little bit quietly, just to allow your body to settle in, to enjoy these simple movements. It's a good place to be. And then release. A little bit of wrist work, so have your hands face each other, and then turn the palms out. Move right arm over the left, and then interlace your fingers, and bring the hands into your chest, and then a little bit forward. So just hold this This is a bit of a rotation in the wrist joint. Don't go too far. You just want to go until you feel the first stretch here. And then release. And then let's swap the arms. So left arm is over the right now. Interlace your fingers. Bring the hands in towards the center. Lean them a little bit forward. And just rest here for a couple of breaths. Keep it mild for now. We're just warming up the wrist before we put a little bit more weight onto them. And then slowly release. Now take your left hand, push the hand forward away from you. And then pull all the fingers back with your other hand. Keep pressing the wrist forward, straighten your elbow. And with the fingers, resist a little bit into the hand, so you put a little bit of tension into this. Now, same hand, make a fist now, turn the knuckles down, and then pull a little bit back with the other hand. So this stretch for the top of the forearm. If you've been typing a lot, then this will feel really good. Don't go too far again, just go until you feel something interesting that you can work with. Release the side, right hand, press the palm forward and then pull all the fingers back, stretch your wrist away from you, straighten the elbow, and with the fingers press into the other hand a little bit, so you're resisting. This is the bottom of the forearm, and I will move to the top of the forearm like this, make a fist, turn the knuckles down, pull a little bit back, until you feel like, okay, I've got this, I can stay here. This is a nice length that I can manage. And then slowly release, just shake the wrists out. Shake, 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 harder, harder, harder. Nice. And then lie down on your back. So we're going to be emulating the shape of a handstand, but lying on the back. First of all, handstand is actually nothing more than a mountain pose turned upside down. So now we're starting in mountain pose. Start to place the feet as if you're standing. So you're flexing the feet, pulling the toes a little bit towards your shin. My microphone doesn't like this pose. Press the heels away from you. And then activate your quads, so your legs are strong, as if you're pushing down on the ground underneath. And then press the belly a little bit back, squeeze your glutes a little bit. And now start to reach hands over the head. I'll have to shift down a little bit so I have more space. Stretch your arms over the head as if you're in a handstand. So press the palms away from you. Your fingers will point more or less towards the ground. Again, have you lost the strength in the legs and in the core? So there's legs, the core, the arms. The legs, the core, the arms. Let's check these 3 points. Legs, core, arms. Try to do all three in equal measure. And then just bring knees to chest. Squeeze the knees in for a moment with your hands. Gonna do that again. Stretch the legs long. Press your hands away from your opposite direction. Heels go one side. The wrists go the other side. Push like you squeeze between two panes or walls or the ceiling and the ground, and then pull knees in. Nice. This time we're going to be hovering. If you can, hover the heels, hover your arms, do the same, press the belly down, adopt this hollow body shape. This is a good place to be to practice your handstand. And then pull knees in. A couple more, handstand on your back, press away through the feet, through the hands. You can also point the toes if that feels good. That's actually the one I usually use when I go upside down. Pull the knees in. Let's do one more. On your back, handstand, stretch out, but with a really strong core. Pull the belly down, and then pull the knees in. And release for a moment. You can rock side to side, or any movements that feel good here. And then rock up and come into downward facing dog. Feel free to move around, maybe stretch one heel down and then the other heel down. So you pedal the feet. One and then the other. Just feel nice stretch all the way down that leg, the hamstring, your calves, your Achilles. Then come to stillness with the legs. For a moment, lift the heels high. And then bend your knees a little bit. And now look at your hands, press the fingers down. And claw your fingertips a little bit into the mat. You might even see your fingernails turn white when you do that. And then can you have at least as much weight on the inside and the outside of the wrist? Try to balance that out. Not all the weight on the outside, not everything on the inside, but balance between the two. Your knees are still bent. Now from that point, from the hands, lengthen the hips, up and back, up and back, up and back. So you're lengthening the spine, the outsides of your shoulders are lengthening and lifting. And the head can be quite relaxed, just check you're not holding excessive tension in the neck and the shoulders there. Keep pressing your hands down, press the mat away with your hands, and this will lengthen the hips up and back a lot. And then if you want, you can add a bit more action in the legs by straightening them, but don't lose the length in the spine. This should be priority. Feel each of your 10 fingers pressing down and feel that real contact with the mat. Once we go upside down, think of handstand or even the arm balances. These will become our feet. So we have to be as stable in the hands as we are in the feet here. And in this down dog, you've got 4 points of support. So can you distribute the weight evenly? I forgot to say, we're going to hold this down dog for about 2 minutes. And we've got half a minute left. So for the last half a minute, can you just drop into stillness? It's a hard pose. You might even be shaking and trembling a little bit. It's okay. Just keep at it as best as you can. Press the mat away. Last 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower your knees. Well done. That's not a short period of time, 2 minutes to hold down dog without any warning. And now keep your hips above your knees. Just walk your hands a bit forward and set the forehead down. Or if it doesn't go all the way down, don't worry about it. Just soften towards the mat any amount that you can. This is a great pose to prepare the shoulders a little bit more for overhead work. Soften the chest down, relax where you can. And then where your forehead touches the mat, can you imagine all these thoughts, the fears of the future, the doubts, you don't know what's going to happen, the feeling of you're not really in control, you're powerless. All these thoughts are not really serving you. In fact, they make things worse. Can you imagine them just running away into the earth underneath you? Keep emptying your head down into the mat, down into the ground below. Gone. The thoughts will come back. You can't do anything about this. But you can do something about the story that you create around them. Do you believe the thought? Or do you just let it pass through your head without any harm? This choice is always up to us. Now slowly come back up. Come to stand at the top of the mat. Our next pose is handstand. Uh-oh, another 20 people have just left the live stream. No, it works like this. Bend your knees. And then lift your one foot and slide your whole hand under the foot. All the way to your wrist, and then press your toes down into the wrist crease. Nice. I'm still bending my knees a lot, so I have space to come into this. Do the same with the other foot. Here we go. You're doing it. Handstand. Congratulations. Now here, move a little bit more weight forward into the ball of the foot, into the toes. Press your toes down so you get a really nice wrist stretch. You can even bend the elbows slightly towards your shins. And then if you still have space in the backs of the legs, you can straighten the legs a little bit. But that's optional. And then if you're feeling a little bit adventurous this morning, you can lean a little bit more forward so your heels start to lift off the mat. And I'm saying it's risky because there's nothing to catch you when you fall. And then sitting back down, unless if you are still down, that's fine. Release your hands from under the feet. And then just clasp your hands behind the back of the head and just traction the head, the spine a little bit longer by just adding the weight of your arms to the head, to the neck. And then release your arms, well done. Slowly roll up into standing into mountain pose. Nice. Come to stand at the top of the mat. Ground your feet. Strengthen the legs. Engage the core, the belly, like we've done lying down on the mat before, but now we're standing, so we're working a little bit more against gravity. And then just lift the arms. And again, pretend you're coming to that handstand where you push the sky up with the hands, almost like you're a pillar between the earth and the sky. Strong glutes, strong belly, keep the front ribs in. There's no back bend here. Push the wrists up, flex your wrists, press the feet down. Handstand, upside down handstand, enjoy. And then open the arms wide. You can bend your knees, fold forward into Uttanasana. Inhale to flat back, stretch the chest forward. Exhale to forward fold again. I like to bend the knees, just feels better. Inhale, handstand, upside down, here we go. You know the basics. And then exhale, hands back to heart. Let's do one more just like that. Inhale, sweep the arms up, strengthen the legs like pillars. You're pushing up, you're holding the sky up with your hands as it were. Pull the belly in, lengthen the tailbone down, and exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Lift high enough, you can strengthen your back a lot when you do this. Exhale to forward fold again, soften and relax. Inhale, rise, handstand again. Find those basics, especially the core, the belly is the most important part. Exhale, hands to heart. Adding on, inhale. So modifying the sun salutations a bit, so we're getting a bit more handstand and upside down practice. Push the hands up, pull the belly in, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your belly. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Now, it's slightly different than normal now. I'm going to add a little roll. So bend your knees, bend your knees, bend your knees. And then roll back into plow pose. If you're new to plow or you're feeling a little bit stiff in the morning, just bend your knees and let the knees rest towards your forehead. That's fine. Now roll back up. You can always use your hands or maybe no hands to come into forward fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, plant the hands, step into plank pose, nice and simple. Strong belly, this is how you want your core to feel when you're in your headstand, your handstand, your shoulder stand, any of those upside down poses. And then from here, shift a little bit forward, lower down into the mat. Nice. Place your elbows under your shoulders for Sphinx pose. And then tuck your toes under for Dolphin. Dolphin, forearm plank, I mean. Inhale, forearm plank. Exhale, back to Sphinx. Inhale in Sphinx. Exhale to forearm plank. Inhale, forearm plank. Exhale to Sphinx. Inhale in Sphinx. Exhale, forearm plank. Inhale, forearm plank. Exhale to Sphinx. Inhale in Sphinx. Exhale to downward facing dog. Hopefully your core is starting to warm up, the shoulders are getting a little bit more warm and open. We're targeting hamstrings quite a bit too in this practice. It's going to help us later to lift up and down with a bit more ease. Nice. From here, bend your knees, look forward, claw with the fingertips, straighten your arms, and then tiptoe forward. Keep your hands down for as long as you can. Tiptoe, 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 and tiptoe. All the way to the front of the mat. Forward fold. Inhale, rise, all the way up. Handstand. Push the hands up, pull the belly in. Hands to heart. Exhale. Inhale, handstand. Push away with your feet, with your hands. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, flat back, slide the chest forward. Exhale, bend your knees, roll into plow. Maybe a bit straighter legs if you can, or keep the knees bent, rest them on your forehead, no problem. Going back to forward fold, however you get there. Find a way, make a plan. And then rise all the way up. Exhale, back down. Inhale to flat back. Exhale to plank. Inhale, plank pose. Exhale, lower the left elbow down, lower the right elbow down. Press the left hand down, press the right hand down. Lower the right elbow down, lower the left elbow down. Press the right hand down, press the left hand down. One more time each side. Yes, I think I heard a yes. Left elbow down, right elbow down. Left hand, right hand. Right elbow, left elbow. Right hand, left hand. Down dog. If at any point you need to lower the knees, take a little break, of course, you are welcome to do that. Also, this is your home practice, so really nobody can see you. You can do what you want. Isn't that an amazing advantage of this online yoga? Nice. Look towards your hands. Claw with the fingertips. Straighten your elbows. You can walk a little bit closer here with your feet. Now bend your knees a little bit, slide the spine longer. And this is called the cannonball. Try to keep your knees going towards your chest for as long as you can. We're going to do 3 hops. Ready? Inhale. Exhale, hop 1. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale, hop 2. 1 more. Inhale. We're going to hop to the front of the mat. Wee! Land softly at the front. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise, go all the way up, handstand. Exhale, hands to the heart. Take a moment to feel your heartbeat under your thumbs. Feel the mind rest in the body. All these thoughts, I'm terrible at these inversions. My shoulders are weak. I don't have any core strength. These are not serving you. They are not the truth, actually. They're just a thought going through your mind, which you like to repeat and hold on to. This is no longer necessary. Yes, bend your knees, inhale, chair pose. Reach your hands up, and again, put handstand in your arms and in the hands. So pressing the imaginary floor away, bending your knees a little bit more, soften the hips down, but engaging the core, lengthening the tailbone. 3, 2, 1. Down dog, step back. From here, step your right foot forward. Keep the left hand inside your right foot, lift the right arm up, press the floor down with your left hand, and then reach up to the sky with your right hand, easy twisting lunge. Just a moment here to open towards the side, it's a nice twist. And we're gonna transfer into warrior 2, so come down with the back heel, sweep the left arm up, come into warrior 2. In warrior 2, lift the arms up over the head, again come into this handstand arms. Handstand core as well, pull the front ribs in, lengthen the outsides of the shoulders up, 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 up. Reverse warrior, left hand down, right arm up. Just lean back, reaching, opening the whole side body on the right. Slowly come back up. Turn the feet to parallel. Inhale to lift the chest, arch back a little bit. Exhale to lean forward with the heart. Until you can't go further, just lower your hands there. A simple wide-legged forward fold, Prasarita Padottanasana, this one is called. Keep it a little bit mild, it's still early on in our practice. Nice, from here, turn the left toes a little bit out to the side. With the left hand, gently press that left knee out. And then soften the hips down, so you're really getting to the adductors, the insides of the legs here. Go just as far as you need to feel something. Some people will be all the way up, some people will be all the way down. It's okay. And then come back to center, turn the left toes back, turn the right toes out a little bit, bend that right knee, with the right elbow, press that right knee a little bit away behind you, and then soften the hips down until you're good. If any stories comes up, oh man, I'm so tight around my hips, or my thighs, or my hamstrings, then know that this is just a thought. It has nothing to do with your yoga practice. This is working on a much deeper level than just the things we can understand with our rational mind. Nice. And then walk your hands back to the front. I'm going to switch sides so you can see better. Second side. Inhale, plank. Exhale, slowly lower down. Come into Sphinx pose. This time interlace your fingers, press the outsides of your forearms down. Tuck your toes, forearm plank. And then walk your toes in to dolphin. Press down with your hands so that your hips can lift up. The more we press down onto something, in yoga we only have the floor actually, the more something else can lift up. Which in this case might be your whole body if you're in an inversion. Slowly release, downward facing dog, press your hands down, lengthen the hips back. And then step your left foot forward. Keep the right hand down inside your left foot, lift the left arm, easy twist. So you're opening up towards the side, at the same time push that right arm down, almost like we've been practicing for our handstands before. And then transition, warrior 2, back heel comes down. Whoosh. I like to make sounds to make this more impactful. You can do whatever you like. You are at home. And hopefully your main home is your body, is your mind, that this is a really good place to be. And then whatever you do outside of this, your relationships, your work, even sitting in traffic, it's going to be amazing because you're having such a great time feeling great in your body and your thoughts. In Warrior 2, press the hands up. The ribs sometimes want to flare out here. This would be not a good alignment for a handstand. So keep this in. Keep the core strong. From that place, press your hands up. Flex your wrists. Keep the sky up, as it were, just imagine. Reverse warrior. Right hand down, left arm leans a bit back. Nice. Come back up. Turn the left toes in. Wide-legged forward fold. Start to lean forward, forward, forward. And maybe place the hands down. You can keep hands to hips as well. You can even bend your knees a little bit, which might give you just a bit more space to fold into this. All of this is fine. Couple of options here. You can just keep the hands where they are. You can also reach for the outsides of your feet or your ankles or the shins, maybe the big toes is an option. Or you can walk your hands a little bit back in between the feet, almost like chaturanga arms, which might allow you to get the head a little bit lower. I can tell you from experience, for years I was about here. I couldn't get anywhere close to the floor, especially with my head. And then one day my head touched down, and you know what happened? Nothing happened. So don't wish for little details like that. Wish for more inner peace, more perspective, helicopter view of your situation. This is what this practice is all about. And then lift back up into a sort of flat back, walk back towards your front of your mat, and then step back, downward facing dog. Well done. Nice. From here, step your right foot forward. And then a few times pull back and lean forward. So just loosening up into the hamstrings a bit more, into the hip joint. One of my favorite movements. I do this every morning. And it can really make a big difference even after a couple of minutes of time on the mat. It doesn't have to be long. Nice. From here, bring both hands to the inside of your front foot, your right foot. Lower the back knee down and start to walk your hands further forward and a little bit to the left. And then just soften the chest down. Wherever it ends up, it's okay. Keep walking until you've reached a good place to stay for a few breaths. Just to inquire, just to have a look, what is this, what's happening here? Enjoying this moment of feeling what it's like to be in your body, to befriend your busy mind. You could stay here, or if it's somehow possible, you can bring hands inside your front foot, maybe bend the elbows a bit, and then for some you might be able to place the elbows down. You could stay on the hands, you're going to have the same experience. Maybe the stretch is going to be more for you on your hands than for some on the elbows. So just craft your own experience. It doesn't have to look like anybody else's. And then keep the elbows down, or sort of make a plan to do this. We're stepping back into forearm plank. And then walking up into dolphin again. Walk the toes closer, relax the head in between the arms. Push down. I like to interlace the fingers, just feel a little bit more solid. The closer you walk the feet in, the harder it's going to become. And then if you want a little extra challenge this morning, you can lift the right leg. If you're comfortable with your forearm balance, you're welcome to hop up. But if you've never done that before, I wouldn't recommend it. We're going to do a much easier inversion just now. And it's probably challenging enough as it is. Slowly release. Child's pose, just briefly. Downward facing dog, nice. Step your left foot forward. And like we've done the first side, just move forward and back. Just move forward and back. Invite a little bit of space, a bit of freedom in the places where you feel the most restriction. And at the same time, notice any thoughts that come up about how you're really a fake yogi, what are you even pretending to do here? This is not very helpful, you're doing it, which is really all that counts. There's only two options in yoga. You do it or you don't do it. You can't really be good or bad at it. That will be not understanding what this is about. Nice. Stop the rocking. Bring both hands inside your front foot. You can always wiggle your foot a bit to the side. And then walk your hands a bit forward, a little bit to the right. And soften down. Oh yes, we lower the back knee down, so you can do the same on this side. Or if you want more leg work, you can always keep that knee up as well. There's a lot of options to suit everyone here. And then just melt down for a few moments. You're in the right place at the right time. You are enjoying being in this body with this mind. And you're gaining a little bit more say in the matter. Not in the outside world, but in your own experience. Walk the hands back. You can place hands inside your front foot. You can bend your elbows a bit. You can place elbows down. Any of these, just pick your choice. There's no better one or a worse one. A moment here to soften down. And if you can, keep elbows down, step back, dolphin plank, or just join us there somehow. Walk your toes closer. Maybe interlace the hands if you did so on the other side. The closer you walk, the harder this will become, but just get a good lift in the hip, in the sit bones. And if you did on the other side, you can lift the left leg and just pause. It's hard to pause in a really challenging pose like this. You might be trembling, your breath might have gone out the window, but you've got this. And then lower everything down, child's pose. Now let's come back to downward facing dog. Inhale, lift the right leg high. You can push your hands down. We've done a lot of work on the shoulders and the link to the core, so try keep that. Bend your top knee, your right knee, and then open up a little bit, but don't cave in the shoulders, especially the left shoulder. So keep the shoulders a bit stable and rotate from there. Right knee, bring it towards your chest or your forehead. And then step it forward. Step it forward to the front of the mat. Nice. From here, keep the left hand down. Start to turn your toes towards the right side. You can wiggle a little bit closer. And hammock the hips down. This is one of my favorite outer hip stretches. This feels so amazing, especially afterwards, after this practice. You can reach that right arm back, or you can just rest it on that knee. Nice. Return to face the front. Turn the back heel down this time, and set up for pyramid pose. Press that front heel down, almost like you're punching it through the mat. From there, pull your right hip back. This right knee can be a little bit bent, or it might work towards straightening, that's fine. Leg the left hip a little bit forward, it tends to go way back, but we're trying to engage the hips to stay facing forward. And then add one more thing with the feet. Pull the feet energetically towards each other as if they're trying to meet in the middle underneath your hips. Pull, 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 pull. This is going to add an extra hamstring stretch on the right here. Nice. Put a little bend in your front knee and lift the back heel up. So now we're more in a lunge. Keep this. Push down through the feet so much that you can reach your hands behind you. Stretch your chest forward. Pull the belly a little bit up towards the spine. Keep this. You can stay here. That's plan A. Plan B is to reach your hands forward like handstand. Press the hands away from you. 3, 2, 1. Lower the hands down. Step forward onto your front foot for standing splits. Let that left leg lift up and back. Do something active with your left foot. You can always bend the front knee just to help fold forward a little bit more. Or just play around and see what works for you. Nice. Now plant the hands. We're going to do a couple of hops. Just go slowly. If you get a wall here or somewhere nearby, you can do hops against the wall. If not, just be careful. Make sure there's nothing around you that you can fall into. Hop a little bit back. Claw with your fingertips. Press the hands down, straighten your elbows. And then with the left leg, first hop a couple of times. As soon as you can, straighten the legs. You don't have to go high. Just check it out. Nice. Child's pose. Whenever you come in child's pose, forget what happened before. It's in the past. If you did an amazing handstand, forget it. It may not happen again. If you were nowhere close to handstand, forget it. It may happen just now, the next time we try. We don't know. Change your perspective to change your whole experience. Nice. Downward facing dog. Lengthen the hips up and back. Lift the left leg and bend the left knee. Open that hip a little bit. And can you open the hip without dropping or moving the shoulders too much? Keep them stable. Nice. Left knee to your forehead. Step the left foot forward. And start to turn both toes to the left side. Wiggle the left foot a little bit to the middle so you've got space to hang the hips down. Here's that outer hip stretch, hammock, side plank pose. Just rest there for a little moment. Not every pose is to be super intense and challenging. And then turn to face forward again for pyramid pose. Turn the back heel down. Start to press that left heel as if it's punching through the mat. From there, pull your left hip back. You can even have your thumb in the hip crease to feel that. Right hip a little bit forward. If there's a bend in the left knee, that's good. If there's no bend in the left knee, that's good. And then just soften in. As you pull the belly back, can you feel the spine can lengthen forward? And then add one more thing, like the previous side, pull the feet energetically towards each other. Nice. Put a bend in the front knee. Lift the back heel. Reach your hands back from the power of the legs and the core. Stay here or reach hands forward. Press your hands away like handstand. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hands and step onto your left foot standing splits. Nobody cares how high your right leg goes, but keep the spine a little bit long, keep the breath soft, keep your mind focused on what is here. Not what you can't do, not what you're amazing at doing. All of this has no reality here. And then plant the hands. Empty your head, let go of all thoughts. Hop a little bit back so you got space. Strong legs, here we go. Hop a couple of times. Start off small, and then if you feel confident, go a little bit more. Like a kid in the park, just play. Just see what happens. Last little hop, child's pose. Let go. We've got two options when we think of the future. We can think everything's going to be really hard and challenging and possibly miserable. Or we can think everything is going to be okay, which is the thought I prefer to keep in mind. Because whatever I think about is not going to change the reality, but it will make me feel better right now. Nice. That was a warm-up. We are now ready to try our inversions. It's going to be headstand. If you got any neck issues, shoulder tweaks, injuries, high blood pressure, I'd recommend rather skip this one. You can lie with your legs up against the wall, or do that stretch, with a strap with your one leg up. That's a really good one. Also kind of an inversion, actually. Otherwise, if you want to give it a try, go really slowly. You can stop at any point. I'm going to place my hands, just like we've been doing for the down dogs, the planks, the handstands. And then my head is going to come down to the mat, not behind the hands, not in between the hands, but in front of the hands, quite a bit in front. So if my hands are a triangle, my head is going to be the top of the triangle, my hands are the base. So I'm leaning far forward and I'm placing the top of the head, the crown of the head down in front of the hands. And when I look at my elbows, I can see they are about 90 degrees, a little bit like chaturanga. You can stay here. This is a good practice just to start feeling a bit of weight on the head, the placement of the hands. Option 2 is to start to lift your knees. There's more weight on the hands and on the head here, and walk a little bit closer. If it's too much, come out. Otherwise, hold a little bit. And I'm just going to show a couple of options more if you want to take this further. Maybe tap your right knee to your right elbow. Bring it back. Tap your left knee to your left elbow. Bring it back. Or if you do that, you feel you can push down a little bit here. You might be able to bring both knees to both elbows. Hold here for a moment. And then if you've done this many times before, you might be able to then lift the hips higher above the level of your shoulders, then to lift the knees, then to lift your legs. I wouldn't be in a hurry with this. If you go too fast, it will not have the best effect. So just play around with this for a moment. If you're quite advanced, you want to add a little bit, you can start to lower the legs and lift them up. And then slowly come down. Child's pose. Again, empty your head of all thoughts. Actually, that's not possible. The thoughts will keep coming and going. But more precisely, allow the thoughts just to pass you by. Like this endless stream. You're sitting by the river on the banks. When a thought comes, it floats past in the river, but you don't have to jump in and get wet. You just watch and observe. Slowly lift back up. From sitting at your knees, just sit to the left side of your feet. Bring your right foot around and over the left knee. And then sit down with both sit bones. If this is a bit hard, then just bring the left leg straight out in front of you, which will give you a bit more space. Same pose, slightly different setup. And then with the left elbow wrap around the front knee, the right hand can go behind you. And then just come into a mild seated twist. Nothing too intense. We have worked hard enough in this practice. We strengthened the core. We did some shoulder work. We had the head below the heart level for quite a few poses. We tried something a little bit challenging, exciting at the end. And all these poses take really long to learn. Some of them took me many years of practice. So if you don't get it in this one single class, I would say that is to be expected. Slowly release. Let's swap the legs. You can just swap, or I'll show you a fancy way of swapping. If you're keen, then lift the hips up a bit, start to turn towards your left. Keep turning, keep turning, keep turning, and sit down. Magic, just like that. You have swapped, or maybe you're terribly lost in another direction. Just, it's left foot over the right knee, just in case. Right elbow, hook it in front and around the left knee. Left hand goes behind you, and then just keep the knee in close as you twist. Couple of breaths, feel where the breath goes. And feel how every pose is just an opportunity to rest, and at the same time test a little bit how far can you go, what lies ahead, what can you discover and learn from this moment. Slowly release, and then lengthen your legs away from you. Straighten the legs. Press your hands down, lift the chest. Do something active with your feet. Keep this and walk the hands a little bit forward. You might be still sitting up quite a bit. In fact, you might even have the hands behind you just to help your chest lift. That's fine. It's only if you've got more space, the backs of the legs, you might walk forward, which doesn't improve your experience. It's just some people need to go a bit further than others to feel this stretch. If your feet are there, you can hold them, but make sure you don't put too much external force with the arms. Rather let it come from your core moving back, and from that space, the chest has more space to fold forward and lengthen. Take a moment to just drop in. Stop struggling and trying and pushing and pulling. This is the end of our yoga practice. So more and more, we turn our awareness inside. See if you can close your eyes and look on the inside, almost like you're scanning your body visually, inside the bones, the skin, the muscles, the fluids. And then can you listen inside as well? Just receiving any signals like a satellite dish, but inside your own body and mind. Just listen carefully. And then can you feel feel your body from the inside out. Not what your skin is touching around you, but how you feel deep on the inside. What is your experience right now? Slowly start to lift back up. Come to lie down on your back. As we're doing inversions, it might be nice if you have a wall nearby just to lie with your legs up against the wall without any support. That's a little bit hard to keep, not so relaxing. So if you don't have a wall nearby, then just lie flat on your back for the traditional Shavasana. And now start to draw your attention inwards completely. There's nothing left to do. There's just the being here, the human being. You as a calm, peaceful presence. Feel it. If you have a little bit more time, then stay here for as long as you like. If you need to be off and away, then start to move your hands, move your feet. Bend your knees and roll over onto your favorite side. And then slowly press up into sitting. Close your eyes, bring your palms together. Feel the effortless connection between your body and your mind and even the outside world, which is why we keep coming back to our yoga practice. Touch your hands to your forehead, to your heart, and bow yourself on the mat. Namaste, yogis. Well done. Thank you very much for your happy participation, the efforts you put into this, the good vibes that I'm receiving. Leave me a comment here. How did it go? How are you feeling after doing this? What would you like to see more of? You can also access all our previous classes on the website yogaworks.co.za. And some of you have asked how they can contribute or support the creation of more online content, which I'm really grateful for. You can find a donation button on the website as well, yogaworks.co.za, on the contact page. Thank you and see you for the next one.